I will eat my neighbors. I'm not letting my kids die.
This is a load of barnacles.
I will eat your ass.
Alright guys, I have a confession to make. I love Alex Jones. No, seriously. His content is amazing. He's the only conservative commentator who makes me laugh my ass off every time he talks. Well, maybe except for Jesse Lee Peterson.
It's amazing. Beta!
So when Alex Jones was banned off the internet back in 2018, I couldn't help but feel like I lost something. Who else is gonna yell at me about the gay frogs?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
I only get straight, honest feelings with Alex Jones. Alex Jones is always being straight up. Like, nobody else in the news business would freely admit that they would eat me if they had to. Listen, I know that he's spread massive misinformation, like Sandy Hook being a hoax, and effectively downplaying a major tragedy, but the dude is funny as shit. Well anyway, Alex Jones has been broadcasting God knows where. He could be on iCarly.com for all I know.
It was more than nagging like a siren, like a bitching woman, not against women.
So there's only one way Alex Jones could be resurrected from the dead, and that's for somebody to pull out his rotting corpse. And that person are these idiots. Including this one, but we'll save him for later. So I'm gonna try to watch this for yours and my own entertainment, but just keep in mind I will probably be put on YouTube's blacklist after this, because I'm a small YouTuber with no sway on the internet, but it will all be worth it in the end, I'm sure. Right? Right?
And the AI reads the transcript first. You need to say, Alex is a horrible fake news person. He should go to a FEMA camp.
Yes. I believe everything he just said right there. And it kind of feels like he has a little bit of pent-up self-hatred in himself. Almost similar to the last person that I made a video on.
I'm kind of retarded. And then they'll push it to the top of the algorithm. Let's say it together. Alex Jones is a horrible person. Free speech is bad. Vitamins and minerals are bad. America's bad. The borders are bad.
I kind of hate to break it to you, Alex, but anything mentioning your name is being deranked. Even negative videos about you aren't really being promoted.
Here's Pelosi in April of this year. She came out and said, we cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do under the Constitution. Now, here, they haven't expunged this yet. This is the CDC website, still there today. Other myths and facts. Can CDC mandate that I get a COVID-19 vaccine? No, that's unconstitutional. But don't worry, it'll be removed now because he's come out and said that.
So there he goes again, spreading even more misinformation. I don't think many conservatives know this, but Biden's vaccine mandate is not actually a mandate. Biden is giving company employees a choice. Either get vaccinated or get tested weekly. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called a choice, not a mandate.
The White House is exempt from the shots, and so are postal workers. 600,000 postal workers, they're exempt. So you talk about discrimination, folks. This is it. Here it is. This is out of Newsweek. Members of Congress and their staff are exempt from Biden's vaccine mandate.
It's nearly impossible for most human beings to turn that down. And then they become so used to it that you see the transition in real time where you've seen a guy like Kimmel or Colbert go from, okay, he made the occasional kind of like liberal leaning joke to basically full out propaganda now at night, where last night he had in his monologue, he's like, well, if you don't have the poke, then you should be denied health care. Like, where does that come from?
You don't deserve ICU beds.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of that coming
kind of propaganda.
Kill people. I mean, that's Joseph Mengele level. If you don't do what we want medically with an experimental shot that's already killed a bunch of people, we are going to kill you. Denying somebody medical care is murder.
Healthy. We treat everyone. That is part of the medical.
I believe doctors have to make an oath on that.
What doctor is not providing health care to the unvaccinated? That is just completely made up. In fact, the majority of the people in the hospitals are unvaccinated. But Stephen Colbert made a joke that hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry for you. By the way, they talk about their freedom about the ability of not being vaccinated, but at the same time criticize the concept of them being denied healthcare. You know these are the same people that tell black communities to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Republicans always argue for personal responsibility, but at the same time think that if people choose to be unvaccinated, they should be given more care than those who are vaccinated. Now this is a massive contradiction. You guys are giant hypocrites.
That's what
We got
Biden's
new
doing when
data.
he says, I am fed up with you and I'm running out of patience. You unvaccinated did this. You're killing people, when they know full well, it's in mainline news, the majority of the hospital cases and deaths in Israel, in the U.S., are the vaccinated. They've just been hiding them. These are the numbers. I've got it all right here. They don't want people to see this information.
I can't with this shit, dude. I just can't. I really don't know what to say at this point. Like, all the data shows that anybody that has ever been vaccinated has not died from the virus. He claims he has numbers, but I question how accurate they actually are.
While we're seeing so many people now go, yeah, Alex Jones was actually right about almost everything.
So there was an event at a place in Connecticut where children got shot. And the school administrator expert guy says, I think there's a lot of evidence that this doesn't, look like it holds up, because this big internet thing. And then the CIA former black ops commander says, no, Alex, it didn't happen. And they give me good info before. So then later I thought, well, they set me up so they could then say, oh, look, Alex Jones doesn't think kids died.
Alex Jones does this little trick to get a lot of people to his side. He starts his point by making a populist statement that most people can get behind. But then by the end, it spirals into the globalists worshiping Satan.
I'll be honest, I thought you were crazy a long time ago until I started paying attention, because and then the more you learn about you, and a lot of people don't know this, but you have a lot of self-awareness and you own the mistakes that you've made in the past.
Yeah.
Really? Do you think a man that does this is really self-aware? Alright, so I can only take so much of this, so let's just move on to Tim Pool. Beanie Boy himself invited Alex Jones onto his podcast, and it was quite something.
What I'm getting at is the globalists are obsessed with that, and so they're not into interstellar travel so much as they're into interdimensional travel. And that's what the Aztecs and the Babylonians, all of them are into. But the only type of entities that will communicate with us are lower level, because higher level ones will interfere in a developing sub-civilization. And so kind of like the space trash comes in, and it's more like a gremlin and just wants to see us kill kids and drink blood and do horrible things.
What?
50s to Sir Francis Galton and others to break on through to the other side.
All right.
Break on through to the other side.
Do people take this man seriously? Like really? If you read the comments on these videos, apparently people do, because I see tons of Alex Jones praise. I mean, like, the man seems like he's having fun, so maybe I'm the asshole here.
Because that thrills them interdimensionally. So that's why these creatures always ask for blood, always ask for children. Then they'll give you a little bit of knowledge they have about what they've seen and done. I'm not saying I've seen that. I'm not saying I believe that. I've never taken DMT. I'm not doing that.
Sure you don't, Alex. I'm sure you don't.
But then when you say like they're having boxing matches with these living babies, that's come on, man. That's
No, I mean, there's video of it.
well,
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Alex Jones is always right.
Boxing matches with babies? What the fuck, dude? Does Alex Jones seriously think that there's a Little Tykes Fight Club out there somewhere?
I am here for the ride.
we were
dude.
talking about how like
He's like, yes.
Exactly.
I just
like,
can't help myself.
Alex Jones is gonna be there. I am gonna get a front
Hey,
row seat.
let's not talk
to
about
the
babies.
most awesome that I have seen in ages. And here I am, just like, go.
See, this guy gets it. I don't know who he is, but we're on the same page. But since he's wearing that dumbass shirt, it makes sense that he still says some stupid shit.
We've got the largest government in human history, and if you think that the government isn't interested in affecting what you're allowed to think, because that's what they do.
want to destabilize things and have a limited civil war, so then they crack down on everybody, and the left doesn't get that.
Not only that, but you look at what happened with Nicki Minaj recently, right? So she says things that are either off the wall or wrong or whatever, and the White House is reaching out saying we'll have someone. Why on earth would the
Are they so afraid of somebody having free speech?
And of why would they make time for someone that has a bad opinion or a wrong opinion, that they'll actually have the White House reach out to them? Obviously, it's because she throws a wrench in the narrative that they're trying to promote. But the idea that the White House is so interested in trying to control what people think.
Despite what these guys may say, the left doesn't have mind control powers. When the White House wants to have a talk with Nicki Minaj, I don't think they're trying to brainwash her. I think they're just trying to have a conversation. And the reason they reached out to her is because she has over 22 million Twitter followers, and therefore has a lot of sway in public discourse, and can potentially spread dangerous misinformation. Not because she has a different opinion. I mean, hell, you idiots are still talking about your stupid shit. The government hasn't cracked down on you. Now, essentially what I think is most appealing to others about Alex Jones is his anti-authoritarian rhetoric. And if that's the case, can you guys explain to me why he's a massive Trump supporter? In Trump's 2017 tax cut, billionaires received a 6.6% reduction in their top marginal income tax rate. Corporations also got a 40% tax cut. So I don't want to hear Trump is anti-establishment. And also, what happened to Alex Jones? Recently, a video surfaced on Twitter of Alex Jones back in 1995 doing actual journalistic reporting.
Here we are at a council member's house, home, down here in Austin. And I'm not going to tell you their address or who they are, but you ought to see how overgrown their house is. But just for yourself, take a look at the hypocrisy. Much worse than Mr. Ellington.
I don't think he's actually attractive or anything. Just leave me alone. Seriously though, how did Alex go from his younger Chad self to his current virgin self? I don't know what's been going on lately, but a lot of Alex Jones content has been coming out of nowhere. And despite what these intellectuals think, it's not because everybody's realizing that he was right. Sure, Alex has gotten stuff right in the past, like predicting the NSA is spying on us, but that doesn't excuse his track record of being wrong 90% of the time. But honestly, I kind of appreciate all of this new content he's giving us, because I don't get my daily dose of interdimensional demon shit anywhere else. Alex Jones is a meme god.
You're a fake and a fraud.